Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Larry. Glad to have you. Today we're going to talk about different types of retirees. Now, when I retired, I did my last big job at the end of April. When I retired, I started noticing when I started hanging out around some of the retirees in my circle of friends and at church, and it seems to me retirees kind of fall into several different categories. So I did a little research. I don't do much research. I did a little research and to see what kind of retirees are out there, and leave in the comments what kind you are. I don't think any of us are one of these set retirees, but it depends on the season, depends on what we're doing at the time, and but the first type of retiree is the never retire type. Now I got to tell you, 20 years ago, this was me. This was me. I made a video not too long ago about what I learned from losing everything. And I rebuilt my life from ground up, basically. And I learned a lot from it, but I didn't think I'd ever be able to retire. Because when you own your own business, now I had anywhere from 0 employees to I think my highest was 12 at one time. You have highs and you have lows. You have a lot of financial stress just trying to make payroll. Then all of a sudden some accounts receivables come in and you're real flush. And it's just really hard. But there's a lot of financial stress there. So I just figured I'll never be able to retire. I'll never be able to retire. And I was one of those. Uh, Now I like structure. I like the structure of never retiring. But beyond that, no, I really didn't expect to ever retire. In fact, there's one point I remember one of my buddies asked me. He said, "So, what are you thinking about Medicare?" Because I was approaching Medicare age. I was probably 60. He was asking me about it. He'd been retired for several years. I said, "Well, I'm kind of thinking about Medicaid at this point because the things aren't looking too good, but things turned around and it's all good." But one of the things I've done, I'm never retiring. I may never retire from YouTube. I don't necessarily dislike doing these videos, but it's kind of a job. It's kind of a job if you work at it a little bit. I know there are those out there who spend hours and hours and hours. Obviously, since I don't edit, which you all know, I don't edit. I don't spend hours and hours, but I do some research. But that's my retirement now. My wife loves it because it keeps me busy, keeps me out of her hair. Then you have a type of retiree. It's called what I call the traveler. They love to travel. I love to watch other people travel. I have traveled a lot in my life. I've gone Caribbean several times, been up and down the East Coast, been to Florida numerous times, been out west a little bit. But I just don't want to travel anymore. I just don't want to. It's too much stress on this old guy for some reason. I don't know why. But I love to watch other people travel. In fact, I follow a couple of they're couples, and they're retired, and they travel around and they shoot videos on YouTube, and I can live vicariously through them, and that's okay. I do have some friends who they did it in a way that I haven't seen done before. And what they've done in the past, he retired fairly early in his late 50s, I think, from a very large local company, very well off, corporate type. And they're motorcycle riders, enthusiasts. I mean, enthusiasts. And what they would do, if they were in another country or even in the United States, they would fly to wherever they were going and then rent motorcycles and do a self tour at that time. And they absolutely loved it. They were never on YouTube or anything, but they shot a lot of videos, posted them on Facebook, and I can live vicariously through them. But I have some friends of mine. What they've done, which I thought was a really good idea as far as traveling. They're getting older, and they didn't want the hassle of having to drive or fly all over the place. So what they did, they picked out a spot, like they always wanted to take this train ride through the Rockies, through this canyon or something. I never did get all the details. So what they did is they flew in close to there, then rented a car, then went and did their thing, and they absolutely loved it. It was really stress free. That's one way to do it. My wife and I talked about doing that a couple of different places. Then you have the type of retiree that I probably am. That's a homebody. I like the peace. I like the comfort of my home. I like being close to family. I like routines. You know, we're all creatures of habit, and I like my routines. I'm enjoying it. I like the routines. I go to the gym just about every day, and there's certain things I do every day, and I just enjoy it. I like being a homebody. That's kind of the traditional way of retiring. Then you have the savers. The savers, and I kind of fall into this category. I don't track day-to-day expenses, but I do track month-to-month expenses. My wife has always totally turned the financial aspect of our marriage over to me because she's the creative, artsy type, and she just didn't want to fool with it, basically. And she doesn't have a head for math, her own words. And so I keep track of expenses month to month to month, so I can look back in April or May to uh, see what we spent money on that we wouldn't normally, that weren't part of daily expenses, and it's comforting for me to know that because it kind of allows you to plan for the future. Because if you don't know where you've been, how do you know where you're going to go? So I track all the expenses. And then you have the retirees that learn. They want to learn new things. Want to learn a new language. I've had several. Excuse me. 'Tis the season in southwestern Ohio. I've had several of my subscribers comment that they're learning new languages or learning new skills. I think that's cool. I tried to learn Spanish here for a while back, and my brain just wasn't having it. I don't know why, but it just wasn't working for me, so I just did. So my learning is YouTube. I've learned a lot about YouTube. Some things I probably wish I didn't know, but I've learned a lot, and I have so much more to learn. So much more to learn. I've just scratched the surface of what YouTube is. You have a lot of people that they volunteer. You can volunteer at a food bank. Although I wouldn't think in the next few days you might want to maybe stay away from a food bank. I think they're going to be extremely busy with the government shutdown and SNAP benefits ceasing and all that good stuff. I'm staying away from all that. But you have large ministries that always have volunteer opportunities. Most churches have volunteer opportunities. I know people that go to dog shelters, animal shelters, I should say, and they walk dogs, and that's good. That's their thing. That's what they like to do. Then you have this last type, and I gotta be honest with you, I see a lot of this last type, and that's what I call the leisure people, the leisure lovers. Everything is about what they want to do. They want to get lots of rest. They want to play all the golf they want to play. They want to play all the pickleball they want to play. They want to enjoy all the possessions they've accumulated. And I think that's fine. That's fine. But in a way, that's isolation all in itself. But they do enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I think we should. If you've got the financial means to do all these activities, I think it's great. It's just a lot of us just don't. And but it's relatively stress free because most of the people that are leisure people, they have means, they have money, and they're not too stressed out about too many things. And I think we're all combinations of these things at one time or another, depending on the season and our life at the time. But put in the comments what type do you think you are? I know I'm more of a homebody slash saver slash never retire time. I mean, it depends. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. If you got anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. Until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.